Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's session, we'll be discussing another algorithm. The name of the algorithm will be counting. Now counting is the basic function which we will be doing. Now on what basis we are doing the counting can depend from problem to problem. So let us quickly see a sample problem statement. Now, the problem statement here tells us that given a set of n students' examination marks, this marks ranges from 0 to 100, make a count of number of students. So we have to count the number of students who pass the examination. So this is the condition given to us. Now, what is the condition for passing the examination? A pass is awarded for the marks 50 and above. So we have set of marks which will be given. Okay. So we have different set of marks. So we have to check whoever has scored greater than or equal to 50, we are going to keep a count. So in that way, we are going to count the marks and we will display. So let us take one example. Let me take it as we have marks something like this. We have 20, 10, 66, 50, and I have 23 and then 99. Let me take these marks. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So n value is 6 here. And these are each of the individual marks. And in the previous algorithm, we have already seen if we are given a set of values, how we can iterate. We will take a variable, for example, I, and we will start at the first element, then we will increment I value, we'll go to the second element, then to the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. So in this way, we will take a variable with the help of which we are going to traverse the set. Next condition here is now we need to check for a particular condition. That is, we will see whether the very first element, whether it is greater than or equal to 50. If it is greater, then I need to have a counter which I'm going to increment. All right. So if we have to do now, once again, we will take, we know that variable n value, we have the data set. I will initialize a counter that is nothing but I value. In order to traverse, I will initialize I to 1. Next, also, I will keep a counter called as count. Let me take it as a count, which will initially be 0 because as of now, I'm just starting my counting process. Now, I will say while I is less than or equal to n. Now, why is this condition? This we have already discussed. Once again, let me say I'm checking for I value if it is less than or equal to n value, so that we have to traverse only up till the sixth variable. In our case, n value is 6. If at all the n value is different, we will be only iterating up till that, so that we do not end up in an infinite loop. That is the reason we have this particular condition. So once it is true, what I'm going to do is we have to check for the condition whether the given marks is greater than 50 or not. So I will take that ith mark and I will check if it is greater than or equal to 50. So if at all it is greater than or equal to 50, then I will increment my count value by 1. So count will become count plus 1. After that, I have to move to the next element in the list. So I will increment the I value by 1. So these are the set of statements which I need. So let us iterate this and see how it works. For the same example, I'm going to iterate the value and show you. So let us start. So initially my I value is 1 and count is equal to 0. So this is where my first element is lying because I is equals to 1. I will check whether I, that is 1, is it equal, less than or equal to 6? Yes, it is true. Then I will get inside this loop and I will check whether the ith mark is nothing but 20, whether 20 is greater than or 50. So in this case, it is not true. Hence, what I'm going to do, I'm not going to increment the count. So what we can have is we can have an open bracket and close bracket. So this can be an if condition. So if ith mark is greater than or equal to 0, only then I'm going to increment the count. Since in this case it is false, I'm not going to increment the count because we want the count of the marks who the students scored which is only more than 50 or equal to 50. Hence, I will not increment count. I'll directly increment the I value to 2, which means now I am at the second value. Once again, I will check whether I value, which is 2, is it less than or equal to n? Yes, it is true. Next, I will check whether the marks, ith marks, whether it is greater than or equal to 50. Once again, it is false, which means I'm not going to increment the counter directly. I will increment the I value. I value is incremented to 3 now. 3 means I have come to the third value. Now, once again, I will check if the ith mark, which is 66, is this greater than or equal to 50? Yes, in this case, it is true. Now, I will directly increment the counter to 1. That is from 0, I have incremented to 1. And after that, I will increment the I value also to 4. Now my I value is 4. I will once again check whether 4 is less than or equal to n. Yes, it is less. Hence, I will read this value and I will check if 50 is greater than or equal to 50. In this case also, it is equal to 50. Hence, I'm going to increment the counter to 2. Next step is increment the I value by 5. Now that I value is 5, check if it is less than or equal to 6. Yes, it is less than 6, which means now I will read the fifth value, which is 23, and I will check if it is greater than or equal to 50. No, it is not. Hence, it is false. When it is false, we are not going to increment the counter value. So, count will remain 2, but I am going to increment my I value. I value is now 6. Whether 6 is less than or equal to n? Yes, it is equal to n. Hence, it is true, which means I'm at the sixth element. I'm going to check whether 99 is greater than or equal to 50, which is true, which means I can now increment the I value to 3. Okay, and after that, I'm going to increment the count to 3 and increment the I value to 7. Now that I have incremented the I value to 7, I value is 7. I'm checking while 7 is less than or equal to 6. So here our condition fails, hence we will come out of the while loop. And now we can print our count. Okay, so we have count value, which according to the calculation is 3. Hence, we will print count as 3. As you can see here in this set also, we have 1, 2, and 3 values which are more than or equal to 50. Hence, our output is 3. All right. So this is the logic behind count. So for any conditions, not necessarily it should be a student marks. It could be if somebody's age, if you're calculating who are more than 18 or not, you can use the same logic. The only thing is that only the condition you will be changing. Instead of greater than or equal to 50, you will be using greater than or equal to 18. That is a condition. So the idea behind introducing this particular problem is because similar kind of problems you might be coming across, and you can use the same logic provided you make the slight changes in your conditions. That is the reason this has been introduced. All right, now let us see the algorithm. So the algorithm looks somewhat like this. You might find it somewhat similar to the one which we have seen in the last session. So we will start, declare the variables n, count, and I, then read the marks to be processed. So all the marks which we want to process will be read. And then initialize the counter to 0. Count we have to initialize to 0 because initially before we start our counter is 0. Then apart from that, I also we are going to start from 1, which means we are starting from the first element. Then here is our while loop where I will say that while I is less than or equal to n, I am going to do the following steps. First is read the ith mark. Then whatever that mark is there, check if it is greater than or equal to 50, and then increment the, if the given marks is greater, then what you will do is you will increment the count by 1. So count is equal to count plus 1. So as you can see in the statement, if marks is greater than or equal to 50, then increment counts by 1. So by which means to say that if this condition becomes true, only then you will execute the statement. Otherwise, you will directly increment the I value, and that is where your while loop ends. So inside the while loop, you have these three statements. And then once this iteration is done, then that is once I reaches the end of the set, once you have read all the marks and you have compared and you have counted them, then you can directly print the value of count. Okay, so this is a very simple algorithm. I hope this is clear. So that's all in today's session, students. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe my channel and share the videos with your friends. Thank you.